Additional panelists won't have any trouble getting on. We are live. Woo 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 woo. Let's see. Let's go to the okay. So people are coming on. Yay! We are on a slight delay, so we're going to give you a couple of minutes. Welcome to I Dream of Travel, turning your travel dreams into reality. I am so excited. I am the host today, or I guess every week I've been the host, Sade Adu, and we're going to just wait for everyone else to come in. I'm so excited. It has been an amazing and crazy weekend, and we're going to talk about all these wonderful people. I know one of my panelists is having a little bit of technical difficulties with his Wi-Fi, so he may be coming in shortly. So we're going to just give everyone a couple of more minutes, and then we will begin. So I hope everyone's having a good evening. We're going to have a great time like we've been having this entire March into Greatness webinar series. It's been amazing. Great stories, great nuggets, golden nuggets. I'm so excited. For our panelists that are on tonight, what is our hashtag for tonight? Because I always like to have a hashtag to encourage other people to come on, to remind people that we're doing this. What is our hashtag for tonight?
That's good.
Hashtag savvy travel.
Oh, okay. Savvy travel. That is our hashtag for tonight. Excellent. If you are coming on, we have our panelists and panel coming on, and then people will be on the webinar replay. Our hashtag for tonight is hashtag Savvy Travel. You can find me on Instagram at Sade Yabrago. I know it's really long. On Instagram or Twitter, so it's hashtag Savvy Travel. And we will be beginning in about 2 minutes. I'm really excited. Thank you so much to everyone for being on our last one. I'm so proud. It took all of us to make this happen, and I'm just so happy for all the support. And we will be starting in about 2 minutes. So I have all of my stuff. I know we're live. Live button. 2 minutes. We'll be starting. Make sure I have my questions, and we're gonna go and do this and make this happen. I am excited. Okay, 1 more minute. I heard a beep. Is somebody else coming on? Okay. I got a beep, but I don't know what that was. Okay. Well, I'm just going to start. I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. Since this is the finale, I am so excited. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Sade Wayadu. I am an educator, a speaker, and a coach, and I love traveling. Well, right now, I'm not traveling as much because I am a doctoral student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and this week we're on spring break! Yay! I'm so excited about that and happy. I know people are watching this March Madness game, and I think Wisconsin is like in the Final Four, or I've been seeing the statuses. I don't know, but I know that I'm happy that I don't have to be in school right now. So I am so excited. In between the time of before I decided to go back to school, I traveled the world, and I lived overseas for 3 years in the Republic of Kazakhstan. And most people say, Kaza what? And a Stan who? I always had this dream of wanting to travel, but I just never knew how I was going to make this happen or where I was going to go. I thought it was going to be more than likely a European country to relearn Spanish or even French. Primarily, I thought I was going to be learning French. And somehow the opportunity to go to Kazakhstan was bestowed upon me, and I did not want to go. And I said, you know what? This is an amazing opportunity. I'm going to take a leap of faith, and I'm going to go. And through that opportunity, I was able to travel the world and see some amazing things. And I just fell in love with traveling. I was actually afraid to travel by myself, and I did it, and I was like, you know what? This is amazing. I'm so excited. And I just hope that everyone who's listening in tonight or tuning into the webinar replay, that you are inspired to travel. And I'm going to give you some simple tips and steps on how to do that. The simple thing is to have that dream. Have a dream about what exactly you want to go, where you want to go, what you want to do, and how you're going to make this happen for yourself. Before I ever traveled the world, I had to have an idea that this was possible. And you also have to have a passport. Think about that too. But have a dream, a simple idea that says I want to go somewhere else that's not in my country. That's not necessarily the Miamis and the Vegases, and we'll talk a little bit more about that with our panel. But what exactly made you decide where do you want to go? And what is inspiring you? Maybe it's food. I love different kinds of food from around the world. So what is inspiring you? Have that idea of where you want to go. The next step is to plan. I hear a phone in the background. The next step is to plan. You have to make an effort. It's not just going to drop. This travel opportunity is not always going to necessarily drop out of the sky. So make a plan. Make a plan, make a budget, decide on how long you want to go and where exactly you want to stay and where you want to be, and plan out and go. And the last step is to go. Actually do it. There have been so many times with me where I have been terrified to travel, and I will wait till the last minute to buy the ticket, and the price has doubled sometimes because I waited till the last minute. So take that plunge, take that leap of faith. Don't be afraid to travel. And if you are nervous about it, get travel insurance. But take the leap of faith and buy the ticket. You will be so happy that you did that later. You learn so much more about yourself just traveling by yourself, especially as a woman. You learn so much, and it's just been an amazing ride. So now, enough about me. I want us to talk to our panel. So since we have two of our panel on today, hopefully the other one will be able to get on. I'll check to see if we can get him on. And I will introduce the two that we have today. So without further ado, we're going to introduce our panel. So the first person that I'm going to introduce is our lovely Miss Danielle D. Barton. Miss Barton has, I don't know, just gotten off of a plane maybe this week. And I'm so happy that she decided to be on with us tonight. She's going to be telling us about her travels. She has lived overseas in South Korea for how many years? 4 years?
4 years, that's right.
4 years getting her master's degree. She's going to be talking about that. She's a traveler. She has actually done more than travel. She's been an expat. She's lived overseas, and we'll be talking about that in her experiences. And she's been able to obtain a degree living overseas. And she's doing some amazing things, and she's going to be talking about that. I know she just got back from Tanzania. I was like, OMG, is she going to be on tonight? Is she in Tanzania? Is she in America? Is she in Korea? I don't know. So I am so happy, and I am privileged and honored to have her on. And as a matter of fact, Danielle, the first place that I went by myself was actually South Korea. I know I went to Kazakhstan. I went with people, but for spring break, it was a spring break. We decided we would all go to different places. A friend went to Russia. Someone went to Kyrgyzstan or Tajikistan. I think he went to Georgia. Someone else went somewhere else. We all decided to go different places. And when I said I was afraid to buy that ticket, the ticket price went up before I bought the Korea ticket. And I was crying, cringing. And I was like, okay, the first place I'm going to go, I'm going to at least go somewhere where there are people I know. And when Danielle was going, it gave me a boost of confidence. I'm like, okay, I can go there. She's okay. I'll be fine. And I'm just so excited. I was so happy to see her in Korea when I went. And she was an excellent hostess, taking me out for Korean barbecue. It was delicious. And we can talk about that. So I'm so happy and grateful that Danielle is on. And she'll tell us more about herself in a few. And, well, maybe won't be last but not least, I have Mr. Julian Harrison. I didn't see this picture that he just put up there. Looking very dapper and distinguished. Mr. Harrison, I know him very well. I've known him for over 20-something years in the capacity of being my sibling. He is actually my brother. Yes, we are biologically related. I know we don't look alike, but black people come in all shades. So we are related. We have the same mama. Maybe she's on. Hi, Mommy. Mr. Harrison, many people think I started this whole travel thing. No, it was started way before I even had an idea that this is something I wanted to do, but I knew it was possible through my brother. He's lived overseas for over 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Over 10 years in the Middle East. He is an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran. He went overseas through the military, and then he decided to stay as a contractor. He'll be talking more about his experiences in the Middle East. We had an opportunity last December, well, I guess almost 2 Decembers ago, to take our mother to Abu Dhabi and Dubai and to Kuwait to visit him overseas. He's been there for 10 years, and we said, you know what? You come to the US all of the time. We wanted to come and visit him. So I am so honored and happy to have my brother on. He's also been our techie person for this entire series. He's been so supportive, and I'm just so happy that he is on. And if our next panelist comes on, I will introduce him at that particular time. I know he's trying to get on. He's been contacting me, and we will begin. So the first thing I would like you to do is tell me a little bit more about yourself. We are going to start with our Miss Danielle. Ladies first. Tell our viewers about you. Who are you, Danielle? Give us a little bit more about you so we can learn more about you.
Okay, well, you guys already know my name is Danielle, or others may know me better as Danny. I have been in the United States for all of maybe 2 days. Um, let's see. I got my bachelor's degree from Morgan State University, and immediately upon graduation, I unintentionally relocated to Seoul, South Korea, where I stayed for 4 years. During that time, I picked up a number of odd jobs. I was teaching English, I was learning the language, and I also earned my master's degree. The day after graduation, I headed home just for a few days to say hello, and then I was on a plane back to Eastern Africa, where I visited Kenya, Tanzania, and Ethiopia. And so now I'm back, and I'm ready for the next trip, for the next endeavor, which, who knows, may or may not be released tonight. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Ooh. And Danielle, your hair looks amazing. Did you get your hair done in Tanzania?
I got it done in Kenya.
In Kenya. Oh, it looks beautiful.
Well, let's see. It costs about $20, and so I mean, you can't go you can't go wrong. And yes, it's artwork. She is wonderful. So if anyone ever goes to Kenya, please do contact me. I will be more than happy to give you my stylist's contact information. She's wonderful. She's hospitable and a great stylist.
Excellent. And we're going to come back to that. Excellent. So Julian, you're on. Tell us more about yourself.
Well, again, I'm Julian Harrison. Like you said, I'm a veteran. I've been interested in travel since birth, growing up in a country town. All I wanted to do was get out. So once I got my opportunity, I saw the military as a vehicle to get me out of the States. So from there, like you said, I stayed in Iraq, I stayed in Afghanistan, and then when it was time for me to get out, I had an opportunity to live in Kuwait, and then from Kuwait, I went to Bahrain, I went to Oman, United Arab Emirates, all over. Then it was Brazil and Poland and a whole bunch of other countries. I probably have to look at my passport to remember that I've been to. So I've got the traveling bug. I still intend to travel, to continue to travel. I got a few more countries on my bucket list, and that's where I'm at right now.
Excellent. And I want to tell all of the attendees, please say hi. Let us know where you're from. Please chat in the chat box. Make a comment. Let us know anything that sticks out to you or anything that you want to say to us. We would love to hear from you. Excellent. So the question that I have, the first question that everyone's going to ask and wants to know, how did you first get interested in travel? What made you say, okay, I want to leave the United States? So how did you get interested in being a traveler? I'll start with Danielle, then we'll go to Mr. Julian.
Okay. Well, for me, it's pretty natural. My father was in the military. That's where he began traveling. My mother, at a very young age, she wanted to be a flight attendant so she could travel. So I was born into a family who loved travel. So from the time I was born, I was on airplanes and road trips and traveling across the country, traveling across the world to other nations. It's pretty normal for me. My parents really instilled that travel bug and told me, you know, the world is your oyster, so to speak. Don't be afraid to get out there and go see what is actually out there. And so that's what I continue to do.
Excellent. Julian, so tell me about you. What got you interested in being a traveler?
Got me interested in being a traveler. Yeah, I actually forgot. My little stint at Continental Airlines actually got
Hmm.
me interested in traveling. Working at Continental Airlines for about 2 years, and just having the ability to travel for under $20 anywhere in the world at that time when I was working there was just an opportunity within itself. So from there, I think it was the first time I think I flew to Cancun for like $15 at that time. So I mean, from then on out, just like let's travel.
That
Yeah.
is a travel deal. I was too young at that time to travel to Cancun, but I'm not anymore. Excellent.
Wow.
So I know, so well, you're talking about prices. That's
Hmm.
a big issue that people talk about, and I posed some questions in the Travel Tribe. Shout out to anyone from No Madness Travel Tribe who's watching. Um, how can you afford to travel? How do you do it? Julian, you named some of the places that you've been. Danielle, can you tell us some of the places that you've gone to, and how did you afford? How could you afford to do this?
Okay, do you want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay, let's see, places I've been. I've been to Japan, Southeast Asia, such as Thailand, the Philippines, etc. I've been to some places in Europe, the Bahamas, all through the Caribbean. And for me, I cut back. So I'm not a heavy spender in other areas of my life. While I like to be fashionable, I'm fashionable on a budget. Um, I don't eat out a lot. I don't spend money in places like Starbucks or other little places. So I really do make it a point to save. I look for travel deals, and that's where I go a lot of the times. If it's a place, maybe it's not a travel deal, but I really want to go, then I travel on a shoestring. I have a tight budget. I try to set a budget for a day, for each day that's practical, that's not too tight, not too loose. I think about what is it that I want to do? Where am I going? What's the average cost per day? How much does food cost? What about getting around? I take all of these things into consideration. I set a reasonable budget for each day. Let's say, just for example, okay, I'm going to spend no more than $100 a day. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. And I really try to stick to that. And what usually happens is I actually come back not having spent everything within my budget. So I'm usually under budget. And that money, I take it and I'll funnel it into the next trip. So I just keep recycling.
So the key to Danielle's travel and being travel savvy, hashtag travel savvy or savvy travel, is to make a budget and plan this out. So it doesn't just happen overnight, but actually being strategic and having a budget to plan out your travel is so important. Sometimes,
Absolutely.
so Julian, so having a budget and traveling, how do you manage and afford your travels? What are you doing?
The same. I'm a little bit more lenient on the travel. However, I would say doing the research and actually finding out great places to stay, places that could be more economical to your means. You don't want to go and stay out in some huge city. Try to see if you can find smaller towns. Use YouTube as a resource and actually do some research on the area that you're planning on going to. Use the wiki pages as well. I like to do that as well, and just find out how the people are when you get there. Again, find out what's around you, and then you can actually come up with how much money you need or where you want to stay before you get there.
Excellent, excellent. I know our other panelist who was supposed to be on tonight. He actually took some time off from the U.S. and traveled through Southeast Asia for 2 months. And I know that was something he saved up for, and I really wanted him to kind of talk about this because he didn't live abroad, he just was in the US and he made a decision that I'm going to go overseas for 2 months and I'm just going to travel and live off of what I have. So he definitely did this the shoestring budget. That's what we call it when you put budgeting living off of a couple of dollars a day. And some people think that's not possible, but especially in a location like Southeast Asia, if you're going through Cambodia, Thailand, not necessarily Singapore. Singapore is more expensive. Um, Malaysia, you can eat for $2 to $3 a day. I know it sounds crazy, but you can eat well on $2 or $3 a day, and depending on your accommodations, you can sleep. I know a friend of mine, he sleeps for $10 a day. That's a little bit too not enough for me. I need a bed for myself in a room, not with 16 other people, but it all depends. So I guess I'm getting into a topic of accommodation. Where
Okay.
are some places, particular locations, hotels, hostels? Where do you like to stay when you travel?
I think I've stayed. I've done it all. I've stayed in the five-star hotels and the resorts, and have done like cruise ships and things like that. And I've also stayed in um, places that cost $6 a night. For example, in South Korea, they have jjimjilbangs, which is basically a Korean bathhouse. And you go and you take a shower, and there's a sauna. And then when you're finished, you put on the clothes that they give you, and there's a huge room, but it's just open space, and you find a little pillow, and you sleep on the floor. So I've done it all in terms of accommodation. I'm pretty flexible. I can do hostels. I can do um, like the couch surfing, staying at a friend's house. I think being flexible is a key part of traveling, and it depends on where you're going, what country you're going to, who you're going with, and all of that.
Okay, so we need to talk a little bit about, because I know some of the people that may be listening may not be familiar. They're familiar with hotels. We all are pretty much familiar, especially in America, with hotels. What exactly are these hostels? And I know there was a movie, Hostel. Some crazy things happened in that movie, so I know people are nervous about it. So tell us a little bit more about your experience living or staying at a hostel.
Julie?
I've never stayed at a hostel, so I
Where
couldn't.
do you stay, Julian? Well, tell us really quickly where you stay.
Well, I again, like Danielle said, I've stayed at the highest and the lowest, five-star hotels, even mid-range, low range. I would say that the lowest range hotel I've ever stayed at was a place called the Mustafa Hotel. This is in Kabul, Afghanistan, and the room was like it was like $15, but it was supposed to be the biggest room they had, and it was not a big room at all, and the blankets and everything looked old, and I really didn't feel comfortable sleeping on the bed, and so I think I had some sheets in my bag, and I kind of laid on that. So be mindful that the five-star in the United States may not mean five-star in some other country. It could mean 2 or 1 star over there. So that's
That is a big one, because sometimes they say 5 star. Well, in Kazakhstan, this restaurant is 6 stars. They give you additional stars, and it was 0 stars to us. So please, be cognizant that sometimes when you go overseas, what you see in America may not be exactly the same. But Julian is being really modest, and I'm going to let him talk a little bit more about some of the other luxury accommodations that you stayed at too. Come on, I want our audience to hear both sides of the spectrum. I
okay.
want them to hear about sleeping in a hostel, maybe in a pod with 20 people in the room, and I also want to hear about a little bit more of luxurious accommodations. We want to hear about both.
Okay. Well, I didn't want you to put me out there, but okay, fine. So, some of the best places I've stayed, let me see. Jumeirah, let me see. I can't think of it. I think it's called Jumeirah Hotel in Dubai. I've stayed at the Grand Hyatt, of course, with you. I've stayed at the Emirates Hotel. That's the one that had the ski resort inside of it.
Mm.
The Grand Hyatt actually has a pond inside of it full of fish, huge pond, beautiful fish, maybe 30 restaurants. In Dubai, they do everything big. I mean, every hotel is a mall. If it's an airport, it's a mall. If it's a little plaza, it's a mall. They just do everything really big there. That's actually one of my favorite countries, if not my favorite country. I'm sorry, not country, but it's not a country. Yeah, United Arab
City.
Emirates country. It's an emirate.
It's an emirate. You're right. It's one of the 5 emirates.
Absolutely.
Five? Yes. Woo! Geography. It's coming in handy being a teacher.
I don't know what details you want there, but everything is like plush over the top. When they say 5 star, they mean 5 stars, or actually 6 stars. I would say 6 stars.
And
Not a
I know
6 star, but
it's excellent. I want to talk more about the luxury, and I also want to talk more about the hostels. I've actually had been experiencing both. As a woman, especially as a traveler, I like to balance it out. Sometimes I want to save money and I do want to stay at a hostel, but as a solo traveler, I'm really cognizant about my safety. So what I usually do is I will get an inexpensive room at a hostel, but it'll be a single bedroom. If I know I'm going to be there for a couple of days and I don't want to be bothered, if I'm going to be looking all over if I'm going to be traveling or sightseeing all day, sometimes I just want a bedroom by myself. And sometimes I just pay a little bit extra. That might be $20 a night. Maybe the most I've probably paid is about $50 for a hostel room just by myself. And then one time I wanted to be a little bit more adventurous in a more expensive city like Singapore, and I did a pod, and it was lovely. I mean, there were about 30 people in the room, but we had our own little private closed-off pod, and I thought it was a good experience. And I've done the luxury too at the Grand Dubai Hotel. Fabulous, expensive, one of the most expensive Hyatts in the world. And I've done the Grand Hyatt in one of the ones in Japan. And that hotel is about $900 a night. I paid $0 a night. So there are ways to do these travel hacks where you can get fabulous accommodations for free. So can anyone tell us anything that they've done that's an amazing travel hack where they've gotten it for like less than a price that you would spend? That's where we'll go to. Less than the price that people would spend to go to Las Vegas. Something that you've gotten, a crazy travel hack where you're like, OMG, I could have paid this to go on a flight from New York to Miami, but I did this in international travel. I know a lot of people were able to get this Christmas sale to go to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So many people are showing the pictures of them traveling. Some people for the first time, and they're able to go to these fabulous places because they received this amazing travel deal. I know it was on Travel Noir. It was in the Nomadness Travel Tribe, and I know I posted it on Facebook. And I know so many people were able to benefit from getting tickets to Dubai the UAE for about $300 or even less. So tell us about a time that you received or you were up on a travel hack or a travel deal that was so amazing that you want to share with our group today.
Let me get this one off real quick. Okay. So.
Let's hear this one.
Yeah, I got to get this. Everybody needs to know this. This is very important. Booking.com. If you've ever booked a hotel via Booking.com, you need to understand that you get very, very good deals here. What happens is when you go to the hotel and you show them that the room that you got, because Booking.com shows you the picture of the room, ensure that they give you that room. What these hotels will do is they'll see the room and they'll say, oh, we're going to give you an upgrade. And what they'll do is switch you from the room that you paid for on Booking.com. So what you need to do is make sure you have your piece of paper that shows the room that you had and force them to give you that room, or you have to threaten to call Booking.com and let them know that they're not honoring the deal. That's what happened to us in Dubai, Shadi, actually. We were supposed to get the room looking over the ski resort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't get it because we didn't catch it. So be mindful of those types of things, especially even when you go into Groupon. If you got anything through Groupon, if you're doing restaurants and stuff like that, be mindful that these restaurants will actually try to put you off to the side, or maybe they won't let you eat at the table. They might send you to the bar. I tried this. I did this a month ago. So be mindful of those things when you get in these deals, and bring your documentation and let them know that they need to honor this. And if they don't honor this, that you can get with whoever you went through, Groupon or Booking.com, and they'll straighten it out soon because they don't want to lose the business.
Excellent. So he's given us a couple of websites. Booking.com is amazing for travel deals and accommodations, and Groupon.com has a lot of more than just travel deals, but they give you a lot of discounts on food and accommodation. So definitely check out those. I put them in the chat box, Groupon.com and Booking.com. Danielle, how about you?
You know what? I don't really have any personal travel hacks or tips. If I catch a deal, I jump on it. If not, I save my pennies until it's time for me to go. I'm sorry, everyone.
No,
I
it's okay. You said a nugget. You
I,
you
you
might
know
not
what?
have
I
noticed
think
it.
along the way, I'm very much, very much a planner when it comes to my travel and my finances for my travel. So I don't have any travel tips.
You just said it. One, you don't even you said two things. You said jump on it. And that's the key when you see a flight deal, they're not going to be available for a week or even sometimes they're not even available within sometimes you have to jump on it within the next 2 hours. So understand that sometimes if you want to save money and you want to really go somewhere, jump on it. That was a key. There was a deal last night from Newark Airport to Aruba, and I
Yes,
posted it on Facebook, and hopefully someone's going to Aruba for $315, I think it was. So
yes,
the key is to jump on it. If your schedule will allow it, jump on those immediate travel deals. For me, I have travel credit cards, and I like to use credit cards that have a zero transaction fee. And what that means is they will not charge me additional money for using it outside of the United States. And I think that's a key. I like my money to do more for me. Time that I travel, every time that I purchase something, most of the time it goes, I have rewards points or rewards money, and usually it either goes to airline miles or free hotel stays. I really enjoy my Hyatt card and get my free hotel night anywhere around the world every single year, and I enjoy my. I like that one, and I have another card, but I like the Hyatt. Um, I guess I do have an airline card. That's one is okay, but I will be able to get a free flight with it, so I guess it's not that bad. The airlines in the U.S., I don't like to give them any plugs. I love overseas airlines. Speaking of airlines, where are your favorite ones? One of mine's my top one. Well, I love Lufthansa. Lufthansa. That flies out of Germany. I know they were just on a strike and some people lost, they didn't get on their flights, but they're amazing and they're pretty efficient. I love their service. I love the food on Turkish Airlines. And if you fly through Turkish and you get another travel hack, you have a layover in Istanbul. If you fly on Turkish and you have a long enough airline layover, you can get a free tour of Istanbul. They give you breakfast and I think lunch, and you get a free tour, a day tour of Istanbul instead of waiting at the airport. So if you're ever flying Turkish, see if you can get that free tour. It's sponsored by the airline. You have to have two tickets that are purchased through Turkish Airlines, and Istanbul must be your layover. So that's a travel hack. Someone told me about it. I purposely went through Istanbul so I could get a free tour. It was awesome. Free food, free tour. What about you guys? What are some favorite airlines?
My favorite airline. I'm sorry, did I break you? Cut you off, Danielle?
okay.
You're on, Julian.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I won't do that again. My favorite airline. Well, I say my top three is Qatar Airways, Emirates, and Virgin Atlantic. Okay. Virgin Atlantic is because they have masseuses on a plane. You can actually get a massage on the plane while you're flying over. Qatar Airways and Emirates, they're actually five-star airlines. People don't know this, but they actually have ranks for your airlines, and these two are five-star airlines. It doesn't matter where you're traveling on Qatar or Emirates. You've got TVs. You're gonna get free drinks, peanuts. You'll get a free meal. It doesn't matter if you're flying 30 minutes. You're gonna get all that. I know in the States, if you'll be on Delta and you're flying all the way to California or something from North Carolina to California, you might not. You might get
Starving.
one meal. That's it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, over there you're getting everything. If you just get on the plane, I'm sure you can get a glass of water if you want it. So I love travel overseas. It's kind of like how the United States used to be.
Mm. How about you? What's your favorite airline,
my
Danielle?
favorite, Korean Air, hands down. I love Korean Airlines. They are excellence in flight. That's their motto, and it stands to be so true. They have excellent customer service, which is very important to me. It's one of the most important aspects when traveling, and they have that. The food is great. You do get a meal when you travel. Um, Korean Air. That's the way to go.
Excellent. I've never done Emiratis or the Emirate airline, or I think I've been on Korean Air. But I
Did
know the
you fly
Emirates, their
Korean
outfits are
Air?
amazing, and I think Korean has beautiful outfits too. Like
They're
it
so
just
cute.
takes fashion to flight attendant fashion to the next level. So I highly encourage you, if you want to have a new flight experience, travel overseas. It'll be totally different than traveling on a U.S. carrier, or at least use that U.S. carrier to go to another country. You're going to have an entirely different experience than just traveling within the U.S. The amount of service, the food, oh, food. That's the key to this for me. I like to eat, and just the quality of the experience is so great. So I highly encourage people to have that experience and enjoy it. Um, we had a time we were going to Ghana. We went through Turkish, and the flight there, Turkish, they messed up their ticket. They messed up the seat. They gave my mother or me the same seat as another person, and the man said, "No, this is my seat. This is my seat." And I said, "Oh, this is no problem. Don't worry about it, because you're going to be upgraded to comfort class." And comfort class, I guess it's still economy, but it's like an upgraded. It's better than economy plus than in the U.S. It's an upgraded version of economy where you're like in business class, but you're paying basically economy prices, and it's amazing. They give you a menu. What would you like? They give you some snacks. They give you a glass. All of your meals and drinks in a glass container. You get real silverware. It's amazing. So I highly suggest, if you have the opportunity to fly overseas, check out a business class or an economy comfort class, because it is awesome. So we're trying to give you some things to inspire you and encourage you to do something different and live out your life the way that you want to live it. Now, some other questions that I have for you that we can get back into my list that I have written down. Have you guys experienced, because I know you've both been overseas for an extended period of time. I think, well, all three of us have. And did you experience culture shock when you were overseas? Or did you not experience it? And I'll go to Miss Danielle.
Okay. Um, no, I wouldn't call it culture shock. For me, I know I'm traveling to another country, so I know it's going to be different. Also, I do my research before I go. So I try to learn some things about the country, about the culture, about the language and the food. So, no, I'm taking in all these new experiences, and I'm open, and I'm just excited and eager to be there. But for me, the most difficult part is when I go home, and I absolutely have reverse culture shock. Um, I'm going through reverse culture shock right now as we speak, partially from having lived in Asia for 4 years, and then even just my short stint in East Africa. Oh man, I'm having reverse culture shock so bad, and part of that is because my heart is still there. But culture shock when I go to another country, for me, no, not so much.
Excellent. That's a great question, because comment about the reverse culture shock, because it definitely happened to me coming back home. I felt like an alien. Things that used to be normal to me were weird and strange, and I couldn't understand them. Things like, even yesterday, the temperature dropped in New Jersey and everyone was freezing. And I said, "This is warm. What are you talking about?" I've lived in close to Siberia, negative 40 and negative 50-degree temperatures. So yesterday was really warm to me, and everyone else was freezing, and I couldn't figure out why. So I've definitely experienced that. Julian, have you been experiencing culture shock? Most of
Uh,
us have just gotten
I
back.
I'd say yeah. Initially, yeah. Culture shock maybe for like
Reverse culture shock.
well, reverse culture shock. Yeah, of course. I come home and I find I have nothing in common with anyone. And I find myself just being alone sometimes, and I don't even know how to talk to people. And actually, I talk to Sade a lot because me and her travel, so she understands what I'm going through, and I understand what she's going through. Actually, when I was in Kuwait, I was talking to her a lot. We were probably what two hours off of each other or something like
Yeah.
that. 3 hours off. Yeah. So that is one thing you have to get used to if you want to be overseas for an extended amount of time. Just like you guys said, the reverse culture shock. Just being, I don't know, people just, I don't know, they're not the same. I think it's you. You're not the same, is what it is.
That's an amazing point. You are not the same. And for me, I thought that things were going to stay the same when I got back, but no, I changed and things changed also, but in a different direction. And you do feel alone because you're thinking about, oh, this funny thing that I used to do or this place that I used to go, and it's no longer something you used to do. A friend of mine posted a picture from a Halloween party from 2 years ago, and we don't do that anymore. This year I was in America for Halloween, and it was the weirdest thing ever. Even being home for Easter. This is all strange to me. I haven't been home in 3 years. So I totally understand this reverse culture shock issue. Speaking of culture and talking about culture, what languages have you guys picked up along the way on your wonderful, amazing travels? Who's
Okay,
gonna speak to us in a new language? Yes, Danielle. Let's start.
okay. Well, when I was in Korea, I picked up Korean, became fluent in Korean.
I'm
Took a
gonna
little
clap for
trip.
that. I don't know how to say
Thank you.
excellent in Korean. All I
No.
know how to say is 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
Oh, look at that. That's great because you know what? A lot of people don't even know that one. So kudos to you, Sade. Um, let's see. I used to speak Spanish, but that was so long ago. I can't even count that one. And my latest endeavor is Swahili.
Ooh.
You're so excited about that one.
I'm African languages. I mean, I'll say this. Julian probably speaks more than me. My father was born in Ghana, and he didn't teach me his language. We went to Ghana to visit. Julian was also there too, and Julian speaks more TWI than me. Aquaba, welcome. What else can I say? Madase, thank you.
Thank you.
But I don't. That's something that I definitely wanted to do. Uh, Pick up an African language, but it just did not work out the way I wanted it to work out. Tell us about you, Julian, and you're gonna give us some more Hangul, Danielle. We want to hear more.
Okay. So I would say the languages that I know the most, like you said, Tree. I know that, and I would say I'm pretty good in Arabic. And the key to learning any one of these languages is immersion. You need to immerse yourself with the culture, with the languages. I actually, when I approach a language, I find content, I find movies, I watch those, I listen to the people, actually write stuff down, and then try to say them again. You know, try to say one or two words again, and for me, the Arabic stays with me. I can go into any Arabic country and get around no issues.
Hmm.
Julian is really funny because I have one of my roommates is from China. And I said, "Oh, she's from China." And he just started speaking to her Chinese. And I said, "Wait a minute. When did you pick this up?" I don't even know what languages he knows. So, yeah, I think it's also amazing just to know a little bit in a lot of different languages. It just makes people feel excited. We were in Orlando, and I knew that our taxi driver was Russian because I could tell by his name. And I started speaking to him in Russian. Do you speak Russian? And usually they don't expect this black girl with this fuzzy hair to be speaking Russian. So I like to throw people off every once in a while. I'm not fluent. I am conversational. I can get around. And I like to say I speak hood Russian. I can talk like I'm still from Jersey and still speak in Russian and people understand. So that's what
Can
I
you
like
give
to
us
do.
an example of that? What does that sound like, Sade?
Hood Russian.
Yeah,
To be on the
I've
spot.
not heard that one.
Okay.
So I
What
need
can
to
I
hear.
say? Я говорю чуть-чуть по-русски. I speak a little bit of по-русски. And I usually
Okay.
say, очень плохое. My Russian is really bad. But then everyone says, oh, no, отлично, it's great. And I say, спасибо, thank you. So I can basically get around in a Russian-speaking country. Hopefully one day I'll get to Russia and throw some people off by the black girl speaking Russian. But that's probably the best language besides English. I did learn French in high school and Spanish in college. Um, Russian is really difficult to learn, and what I realized is going back to the U.S., I only thought I was going to be in Kazakhstan for 1 year, and they also speak. I don't speak Kazakh. I know a few words in Kazakh. Kazakh was much easier to learn than Russian, but the practicality of learning Kazakh versus learning Russian, it didn't really make as much sense. But out of respect of being in someone else's country and understanding that their native language was taken from them and they were forced to learn Russian, when I see an older person who is Kazakh, I try to say hello in Kazakh if I know they're going to speak Kazakh, just to show them a little bit of respect. It's an understanding that languages have been taken from people and they've been forced to speak certain things. So, Salamitsizbe in Russian, I mean in Kazakh, Kazakhsha, and that's, what is that? Hello, Salim, and it's like they say Assalamu alaikum, they say that
Yeah,
also
same
in
thing.
Kazakh. Salamitsizbe. So, Kalkalai, how are you? So I do know a little bit of Kazakh, but I know more Russian. Um, in French, I can read it better than I can speak it. In Spanish, I've kind of lost it, but I can understand some words in Spanish. So the key is be multilingual and make an attempt, even if you can just say hello in a couple of languages. I think that's really the key. Being able to speak to people and saying hello. The next question I have is about, we're still talking about this idea of culture. Food. What is some of this amazing food or even the weirdest food that you ever experienced overseas? What are some of the craziest things that you've actually tried? While you guys are thinking, I know what mine is. Well,
I,
okay,
I, yeah, okay.
horse meat. Horse
Mhm.
meat casserole, horse meat on pizza, horse meat sausage. The national dish in Kazakhstan is horse meat. In their history, being this, I like history. They were nomads. They moved around a lot, and they could eat. And they had very cold winters, so they could eat horse all winter long. So historically, the horse has been a huge example, a very honorable and important animal in their history. So they eat horse, and they're predominantly Muslim, so they don't eat pork. So when my kids found out that I ate the swan, they were not happy with me. I said, "You guys ate Mr. Ed. That doesn't matter. You eat the swan." So,
You eating Porky Pig?
well, exactly. I'm eating Porky Pig. They eating Mr. Ed. So we both, eating Babe and Mr. Ed. So, we both are, and we're both culturally eating taboo things. So, oh, and the other thing, I think it was in Cambodia, crickets, fried crickets. But the fried crickets tasted like potato chips. I didn't try. I wanted to do the fried tarantulas, but I thought that thing was crawling on me, and they wanted to eat me, feed me a dead one. One was crawl. It was too much. I couldn't do it. But between the horse meat and the crickets, I think I have done enough weird food for today, for a lifetime. So what about you guys?
Okay, so for me, mine was back in Korea. This, again, unintentional. I was just going with my friends for moral support. And somehow or another, I ended up eating live octopus, which is called nakji.
I have one.
And I'm going with my friend. We're at the fish market, and I'm going, and I told them, guys, hey, I'm not a part of this. I'm just here to take the pictures and to record the video. So we go into the fish market. You pick out the specific octopus that you want, and then you take it upstairs to the restaurant. They plate it for you. They sprinkle a few sesame seeds on there, and there you have it. You eat it. And so the octopus that's crawling off of the plate and still moving the legs and everything. And I had heard all these stories about, oh, people have died. You can die. It's so dangerous. The suctions can stick to your throat. You can suffocate and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so we get to the restaurant. We're sitting down, and I'm like, I can't come this far and not participate. So I did it. And you know what? It was crunchy, I think, because of the sesame seeds, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I anticipated. I chewed the heck out of it because I didn't want to suffocate. Um, but yeah, it wasn't so bad. Would I do it again? No. But it wasn't as bad as I had imagined in my mind. So that's definitely the
Ooh,
strangest.
live octopus. That just took it up a notch. Having something moving on your plate, that took it up a notch. How about you, Julian?
Yeah, Shada, you kind of took mine. I have tried an insect assortment in Asia where I've done the crickets and I've done beetles and things that
Protein.
crawl on the ground. And so, and like you said, they taste like chips. I thought they taste like bugles to me. So if you actually close your eyes, because they have a crunch. So you can just eat them. If you want to watch a game or soccer game or football, depending on where you are. You know,
Mm.
get your bag of grasshoppers and drink a beer and call it a day. So that and I think Singapore, I had I don't know, they have some kind of I want to call it seafood soup. I don't. They just cook the fish whole as is. They don't cut anything out. I mean, it's just like a fish in there, just kind of like I don't know. It could have still been alive. I don't know. I saw the eyes and everything. It was really disgusting, and everything was really chewy. So yeah, Singapore. If you want to go into some of the smaller areas in Singapore that's not too populated, not one of the city areas. You want to go into the smaller areas. You want to get some really nasty stuff to eat. Yeah, go down there in those smaller areas.
Whoa. Ooh. I know I shouldn't be talking about cringing and all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
Miss Polly wrote insect assortment. What kind of insects are those? Woo. I'm just gonna say, Miss Polly,
Yeah.
leave it up to your imagination.
Yeah.
What is one item that you must have when you travel? Your one item that you must have. That one travel item. I think
Well,
mine is baby wipes.
I was just about to say
Never
that.
gonna know.
You can go
I think
again.
I got that from you, Julian.
Yeah,
You better
wipes.
always bring some toilet paper. So
Yeah,
always bring some wipes because you just never know where you're gonna have to use the restroom or what you're gonna need those wipes for.
yeah,
So
because depending
wipes.
on where you are, because you could be using a toilet or it could just be a hole in the floor. So you need to be prepared for whatever may come your way.
Spot toilets. What about you, Danielle?
Me being a germaphobe, I think you hit the nail on the head. To caveat that, I think for women, the brand Summer's Eve, they make sanitary wipes for women,
Mm,
and those really come. They're individually wrapped. They really, really do come in handy, as well as the tissue and the baby wipes, just like you said, hand sanitizer, all of that. But aside from um, all of the sanitary items, I would say, of course, a camera and an adapter.
an adapter and a camera. Yes. You want to be able to capture these moments and post them on Instagram and encourage other people to travel. Definitely something to capture these moments. Especially if you are backpacking, you might not have that much stuff. You just want to, and you don't want to take too many things with you or take too many things back. A camera and a picture will tell 1,000 words. It's worth 1,000 words. So that one is amazing.
I'm sorry. She specified plug a power adapter? That was you talking about a power adapter when you talk about power adapter? Because that's one thing too. People when they get over, they need to be mindful that the plugs are different when they travel.
The
Right,
voltage is also different.
right.
So when you're going to a different country, make sure you know what kind of plugs that they have. Some of the plugs may be round, some of them might be rectangular, some of them might be similar to the United States. But make sure you know what kind of plugs they have, because
Yes.
you might get there and you might not be able to plug anything in. Because that happened to me in Taiwan. I thought that they were going to use the UK plugs, and I think they used US, and I was not prepared, or maybe I mixed it up. But whatever the plug was, I was not prepared for it. But I went to Abu Dhabi Mall
Mhm.
and Marina Mall, and I was able to get universal plugs for all the most popular countries. So
And
plan ahead.
lastly, be mindful of the power difference.
Oh
If
yeah, because I done
you're
messed up some
using
stuff doing that too.
stuff going over there as well.
I had a crock pot that I brought back from the U.S. to Kazakhstan. That thing melted. So make sure you fix the voltage because it's not the same. Even if you can get the adapters, the power is different. You go from is it 110 and 210? So you got
220.
220. So make sure you know about the power differences. And also, we talked about squat toilets. Toilets, they're not exactly the same as they are in the U.S. So make sure you know or be prepared for a different bathroom or restroom experience. In some places, you have to use the toilet outside. That's just the reality of parts of this world. So make sure you're prepared for these kind of things or go with the flow, You just never know. What is keeping up with family? How did you guys stay in contact with your family members while you were overseas?
Okay. I use a system called Magic Jack. You can buy the device in Walmart for I think $40, $40 or less. I don't remember the exact price, but no more than $40. And you can hook it up to your computer, and you can download the application on your phone. So it will give you a stateside phone number. If it's on your phone, you just dial the number on your phone and call your family in the States. They can also call you, and it's to no charge for them, and it'll come straight to your cell phone. So that's how I contact my family stateside. In terms of friends, there are a bunch of apps. There's WhatsApp in Asia, there's Kakao, and that's really how I keep in contact with my friends that are even abroad through the texting apps.
Excellent. And that's a good point. What about you, Julian?
Yeah, as she said, WhatsApp. It's, if people don't know about it, it's essentially an app that allows you to text as long as you have internet service. So that's how I keep in contact with a lot of my friends from Iraq or Italy, or people in the Middle East or Eastern Africa. And then just for people at home, Skype. Get them Skype. If they don't have Skype, tell them to get it if they want to talk to you.
Skype has been the key for me. I haven't done the WhatsApp yet. I just don't feel I can't be bothered with a new app. But Skype has been amazing. And Facebook. Facebook has been just useful with me. It's just been so instrumental in me keeping up with family and friends when I'm overseas and letting them know instantly what's going on and that I'm okay and that I'm still alive and what's going on in my life. So I think social media and technology has just made it really easier and simpler to travel around the world and keep up with what's going on with your family from different places. So that one I think is really, really important. The next question that I have for you, and we'll be wrapping up shortly. I see the time is ending soon, and I want to honor everyone's time. And we're also in different time zones. So I know Danielle's in California, so I want to definitely give her some more time to enjoy the rest of her day because we got nighttime now here. Evening. What advice would you give to a novice traveler, someone who's new and they're thinking about this and they're watching this webinar replay or they're watching it live and they're really interested in traveling? Where would you tell them to start? What advice would you give them?
I'm sorry, you mean where you want them to start, or
okay, well, okay, I'll make it a little bit more specific. I know I keep moving around. Let's switch up the question a little bit. What country would you tell them to go to? As a novice traveler, someone who's new, they want to get their feet wet in international travel, where would you ask them to go? Where would you suggest that they go? Like a top 2 place.
Top 2? They could probably do DR or Costa Rica, like right off. You know, the exchange rate is just right. I think it's 30-to-1 there. It's going to be a very cheap trip. I think anybody in the United States can probably get there and back for under. You probably can do under $1,000, under $900 for a weekend, and actually live really well and actually have a very good time.
So your suggestion is that they go south. Go either Central America, Caribbean, South America.
Yeah, any one of those islands, St. Thomas, something like that. Yeah.
Caribbean, Central America. So start off with something that's not as far.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those flights are not as bad. You can get a flight out of Florida, get there in a couple of hours. So start off somewhere smaller. What about you, Danielle? What do you think?
Okay, so instead of giving them a specific location, because everyone's different and they have different preferences and different budgets, just general advice to a novice traveler is to go. It doesn't matter where you go, but just go. Book the ticket and plan your trip accordingly. Don't wait for your friends. I mean, you can go with friends, that's wonderful, but don't feel obligated to wait for your friends. Just go. Forget about, I know sometimes traveling can be a bit overwhelming for some. It can be intimidating, even a little scary, but push past that and go. I think that's where a lot of people stop. They have the desire, but they become overwhelmed or intimidated. You have to just do it. So it doesn't matter. I mean, pick a place on the map, wherever you're interested. Just do it. Like Nike does.
2 things. You said just go, and you said don't wait for your friends.
Absolutely.
That one is a golden nugget. Maybe that's a platinum nugget. A lot of times, especially when it comes to traveling, we want to wait until someone else says they want to go with us, until they want to plan it. And a lot of times I had to put hold travel in the US because of other people. You make plans even if it was to go to Las Vegas and they say, "Oh, we can't go." And then you're saying, "Oh, I don't want to go by myself." So, don't wait for people to go. Go. Enjoy going somewhere by yourself. A lot of people, they're afraid to go to do things by themselves. You really learn stuff about yourself. Like I
So
got lost in
empowering.
Japan. You learn stuff about yourself when it's just you and you only can rely on your own wits and your own skills and talents. You learn a lot, and you might learn just you are wiser and stronger than you really believe. So go somewhere. Don't just wait for your friends. That one was an excellent. That we're gonna call that a platinum nugget. Just go.
Ooh.
And don't wait for people to go with you. A lot of people were holding back because we want to wait until someone else goes with us. This lighting is doing weird things, but I mean, go. I love that. Um, okay, so how has travel, we're going to close this up a little bit. How has travel changed your life? What is one thing that's different about you because you are a traveler or even an expat? How has that changed your life? I have two questions for you, Danielle. How has travel changed your life, and would you encourage more people to go overseas to get a degree? Is this a viable option? I guess I got a couple of questions for you. How has travel
Okay.
changed you?
Okay.
And is this a good option for people to go overseas and get degrees? And how are these degrees perceived in the U.S. if they decide to come back also?
Okay. Um, wow, that's a lot of questions.
I know
Okay,
I gave you, I was like, it just came to me. I know.
okay, but I'll answer them all. So for the first question, how has travel changed my life? Well, travel is such a huge part of my life, right? So in each place that I go, I try to take away something and incorporate that into my everyday life. So in my last trip, for example, it's taught me to be more patient, and that's something that I'm
Mm,
still learning, and I think I will continue to learn in my next endeavor. But like I said, each country I go to, I try to find at least one nugget to take away and incorporate. In Thailand, for me, it was to not be so materialistic and to really live as a minimalist. And I've
mm.
really been trying to incorporate that into my life since my trip. So it's always changing because I'm always traveling. I'm always going. I'm always learning. I feel like travel is the best educator, um, which is a great segue into the next question. Would I recommend getting an education overseas? Absolutely yes. First of all, you can go to school for free. Second
Free.
of
That's a
all,
travel hack, Danielle. That's a travel hack. Going to school for free.
look at this. Look at these travel hacks I didn't even know I had. Wonderful. So yes, you can go to school for free. A lot of times there are programs that will even sponsor you in terms of your housing and maybe even a stipend. So you don't have to work. You meet people from all over the world, which is fantastic. And you're closer to other countries, so you can travel to other countries, and it's far cheaper for me to travel in Asia if I'm based in Korea versus being based in California or Maryland, for example. And what was the third question, Sade? How is the degree perceived? You know what? I've only been home 2 days, so I can't honestly answer the question, how is it perceived? Also, I got a master's of public health, master degree in public health, and my concentration is international health. So I got this degree with the intent of being abroad. So, uh, not that it doesn't matter how it's perceived in the States, but a lot of the work that I intend to do, I plan to do it overseas. So for me, it was a bit more methodical.
Excellent. There's a method to the madness, and make sure you have that in your plan. That's excellent, Danielle. Julian,
Yes, ma'am.
so you were overseas. What are these last golden nuggets and tidbits you would like to leave with our audience? And is going, I know you went overseas through the military. Is this an option that more people should consider?
They could, but definitely have a plan if you want to go via the military. Definitely have a plan. Don't and don't let your recruiters bully you. But that's a whole nother.
It's
That's
a
a
whole
whole
nother
nother.
webinar for another day.
Ensure that, yeah. But taken from the military, we had something that we call situational awareness. When you go to these countries, if you can, try not to look American if you can help it. Try not to look overly American. Try not to look like a tourist. Try to blend in. Try not to bring attention to yourself. I know you remember us being in Ghana, getting stopped every 15 or 20 minutes or so, and getting taxed just because we
Oh,
pretty
the
much.
American tax.
Yeah. There's such thing as
The
an American.
foreigner tax. Foreigner tax.
Absolutely,
Very true.
absolutely. People all automatically know when they see you and you come out, you dressed all nice, and your shoes look new and your hair is done. They can already see you a mile away. So if you can, I'm not saying don't have fun, don't look nice, but try to be a little bit more subtle or a little bit more conservative when you go to some of these places.
Excellent. Now, the foreigner tax that I talked about is basically you getting charged more because you are a foreigner. And if they perceive you as an American, they say, "Oh, money team, you have money." So they're going to charge you more money for things that locals get for less money. In Kazakhstan, they were infamous for trying to do this for me. But luckily, speaking a little Russian, one of my favorite phrases is "Я не дура," which means I'm not stupid. You will not charge me more money because you think I don't know how much you're supposed to charge me to take me from the airport to wherever I was going. And then they start laughing when I tell them I'm not stupid. So that's one way. And oh my goodness, I got a huge foreign tax in Vietnam, and that was totally my fault because I was warned about it, and it was supposed to be a $3 ride, maybe even less, and I paid about 30, and I was so angry with myself, and I said I cannot believe this, and I've still been foreigner taxed since. But if you, like you said with Danielle, planning it and being smart about it in advance, you still probably will get taken advantage of. But asking a foreigner, a local, to help you out with things like that. How much is a taxi supposed to cost from the hotel to the airport? How much is this supposed to cost? So you have a base of how much it should be, and still expect and anticipate a foreigner tax because it's just
It's gonna happen.
what happens. It just is. I mean, it's just a fact. It's just reality. So we're going to be wrapping up shortly, and I have one more question, maybe two, because I can't help myself. What is your favorite place you've been? Where's your favorite place, and where are you going next? So I have one more question after that, but this will be the last two of three questions, series of three questions. What is your favorite place, and where are you going next? My favorite place, I think it was South Korea. I think I loved it because it was the first place where I bought the ticket and I was happy to go and I felt free and I could just get around and I realized that traveling by myself as a female solo traveler of color was possible. So it just opened the door for me. So I will say Korea was my favorite place that I've traveled because it just inspired me to do more. So what about you? And where am I going next? I don't know. The way that this doctoral degree is set up, I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be able to sneak out. I'm going to try my best to sneak out of this country before the year is out. But I really don't know. I'm open to a travel hack. If the dates are right and I can sneak out of school, I will go wherever I go. And the key for me right now is I've traveled the world once. There's like a quote: travel the world one time to see it for myself. The next time I travel, I want to take someone with me. And I don't know, you can't see him. The person I want to take with me, where are we going next? He's over there watching, one of my biggest supporters. So that's where I'm at now in life. I know I got mushy. Take someone with me the next time I go around. So what about you guys? Where's your favorite place and where do you want to go next? Miss Danielle, where are you going next?
Well, my favorite place, hands down, bottom line, without a question, no doubt, is Tanzania.
Oh wow.
Oh, that place so has my heart, my mind, my soul. I've never felt that way in all of the places that I've traveled. I've been to many beautiful countries, but there's something special about Tanzania. And it just captured me from the moment, literally from the moment I crossed the border. So if you have not been, to those of you watching,
On the list.
your experience may or may not be the same as mine, but I seriously recommend you go and see it and take all that it has to offer. Where I'm going next, um, well, the next time I'll be on a plane, I'll be in Washington. I have a lot of stateside traveling that I'll
Hmm.
do because I haven't seen family in so long. So I'll be going to the South. I'll be going to Chicago. I have family reunions and a lot of stateside traveling. But once I'm done with that, I'll be following my heart. So.
Excellent. Julian, what about you?
It's hard to
Speaking of the
follow
next
that.
time you're going to be on a plane, what is the next time you're going to be on a plane, Julian? Tell us.
This Friday, I'll be traveling up to New Jersey, Maplewood, to get ready to get kicked off with the end of this March Madness. I'm sorry, shameless plug.
Exactly. That was a perfect segue because you know I almost forgot. Excellent. This Saturday, I'm hosting a vision board networking experience. Is going to be amazing. I'm so excited. We are rounding up the end of March and springing into our greatness in April, and we're going to have this amazing experience. There's going to be entrepreneurs coming, some people I haven't seen in years that are going to be there, and we're going to have this evening or afternoon of empowerment, enlightenment, and turning your visions, whether it's a travel dream, a weight loss dream, going back to school, doing something new, starting a new business, turning these dreams into reality and giving you the steps to make your vision boards action boards. Because a lot of times we like to create these vision boards, and I was at an event yesterday where we created vision boards or dream boards, and there was really no steps to make them and to turn them into reality, and that's what I really want to happen. So I hope this opportunity has inspired you and encouraged you to do more, be more, and accept your greatness. Now I'm going to go back to Julian. I know you're going to New Jersey, and I think we're both doing all of us are, because we've been abroad for a while, doing more stateside travel. That's me. I'll be in New Jersey this week, next Saturday. I'll be back in Wisconsin. Then I'll be in Atlanta, and then I'll be back in Wisconsin, and then back in New Jersey. So most of my travel right now is stateside, but I do want to sneak out as soon as possible. Back to you, Julian.
Thank you so much, Miss I do. All right, so countries. I really can't decide on one, but I'd say my top two or maybe even top three is I would say Dubai. I love Dubai so much. I love all that it has to offer. I love how they do everything so big. I know they're opening up a Dubai land here that's gonna rival Disney World soon. I'm probably gonna go there for that. And my second country is Brazil. I just love the people. Everybody's so nice. Everybody's so I don't know. It's this. It feels like love is in the air when you're there. Everybody's just giving you a hug. Oh, let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. I didn't get the American tax when I was there, so that was great as well. And third, surprisingly, was Ghana. Other than getting taxed, I actually really love the place and really love the people. Once you sit down and get a chance to know the people, they're just like anybody else in the state, and that's what you'll find too when you travel. Is everybody is pretty much the same. A lot of people have the same ideals. It's just their circumstances sometimes can change their perception.
That's excellent. It really makes us know and realize that we're not so different. We think we are, but we're not so different. And it also, traveling the world also makes you more appreciative of what you have. Being American, we take a lot of things for granted, like running water and electricity and bathrooms. We take a lot of things for granted. But when you're traveling and you don't have those things, you really are appreciative of them. So it really makes you appreciative and happy for what you have. And it makes you value life a little bit more when you're able to experience it and experience wonderful people. So before we leave, how can our audience keep in contact with you? Because you guys gave us some fabulous chat tonight. Thank you so much for being on the finale of the March into Greatness series. Thank you so much. How can we keep in contact with you, Miss Danielle? And what do you have going on next? What's next for you?
Well, since I just finished school, I just got my master's degree. I am looking for opportunities abroad, in a particular country that's in my field. So we'll see. We'll see what God has in store for me, and what doors and opportunities open up. But I know what I'm pursuing, and I'm sure the audience can guess what I'm pursuing as well.
Excellent. We will see her, and then that's more people to meet. The more you travel abroad, the more friends you have in different countries. People are like, Sade, you need to come to China. You need to come back to Malaysia. You need to come here. The more people you meet abroad, they're always traveling somewhere else, and there's always a connection for you. So I definitely encourage it. And once Danielle makes that new move, there's a new place for us to visit, Julian.
Yes.
Yay!
Nice. That's perfect.
It's always great to know someone in another country. How can we keep in contact with you, and what's next for you?
What's next? Oh, let me just go with the contact first. You can either reach me at my college address, which is JH231289. You can actually see it on my bar, on my banner below. 231289 at my.northcarolinaWesleyanCollege.edu. Or you can reach me at julianharrison1@gmail.com. What's next for me? Right now, I'm just taking a hiatus from the Middle East. I'm a full-time student. And I forgot to mention on my bucket list of travel, Australia. I have to get
Yes!
right before. It's just so far. It's just so far. No matter where you are in the world, Australia is just far.
I was in Indonesia, and it was still 8 hours from there. And I'm like, goodness
No matter where
gracious.
you are,
You could take a boat, but it was going to take you all day. Yeah, Australia is definitely on the list. And keep me on, when you go back to Brazil, please let me know. So thank you so much. I want to make sure we got everything.
Well, Sade, did I give my contact information?
Yes.
I don't think I.
Give your contact information.
Okay, so you can see on the bar, my Facebook is Danny California, which is my alias. Or you can contact me via email, which is Danielle, Danielle, D.Barton, Barton, @gmail.com.
Excellent. I think some of our stuff has been shared on Facebook. I'm looking for any questions, comments. Thank you so much. It is a little bit after 9 on the East Coast. I want you guys to always remember to do more in life. Strive to always be more and be happy. And always accept your greatness. My name is Sade Adu, the Savvy Life Coach, and I am so happy that you guys spent all of this time with me throughout the month of March. And I want to thank our panel. And I also want to shout out our panelists that could not come on tonight because of some technical difficulties. This is live and those things happen. But thank you so much. It's been an amazing, amazing month, from our vision boards made easy to our travel dreams. And I hope to see some of you on Saturday. Please make the investment. It'll be a great experience and you won't regret it. Have a great evening and good night.